I've spent the morning inside the War Department, and the air is thick with the scent of a coming storm. You've seen the news reports, but what I'm about to tell you comes from the private briefings. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth just put the world on notice this Thursday, January 29, 2026. All options are on the table. This isn't just rhetoric. This is a cold, calculated reality. President Trump has drawn a line in the sand, and it's made of fire. He told the regime in Tehran, "You will not have a nuclear bomb. Not on my watch, and not ever." For weeks, Iran has played a dangerous game. They've funded proxies, they've suppressed their own people with a bloody crackdown that has left over 3,900 protesters dead and tens of thousands detained. And they've accelerated their uranium enrichment. But the games are over. Trump's message yesterday was an ultimatum. Make a deal to limit your missile program, end the nuclear pursuit, and cut off your proxies or face an attack that will make last June's Operation Midnight Hammer strikes look like a training exercise. I've seen the target lists. We aren't just talking about military bases, we are talking about the heart of the regime. The USS Abraham Lincoln carrier group entered the region on Monday, and its pilots are flying readiness exercises over the Gulf as we speak. This is the rebuilding of perception that Hegseth talked about. Our enemies used to think we were tired of conflict, but Trump's 2026 doctrine is different. It's peace through strength. And if you don't choose peace, you will feel the full strength of the American War Department. Russia is already panicking. Alexei Likhachov admitted they are ready to evacuate staff from the Bushehr nuclear plant. They know when Trump says time is running out, he isn't joking. Let's talk about the nuclear red line. For decades, the experts told us that Iran was years away from a bomb. They were wrong. We know they are moving toward enough fissile material to weaponize right now. President Trump isn't going to wait for a mushroom cloud to appear. He's taking the preemptive path. Pete Hegseth made it clear today the War Department is prepared to deliver whatever the president expects. I've heard the discussions in the Oval Office. The president used the old agreements as surrender documents that gave the Ayatollahs billions to build the very missiles they are now pointing at our allies. This time, there will be no pallets of cash. There will only be two choices: total denuclearization or the total destruction of the facilities. We're monitoring the enrichment sites at Natanz and Fordow with 24/7 precision. The human cost in Iran is already staggering. Thousands of brave Iranian demonstrators have been slaughtered by their own government since late December. Trump sees this. He knows the regime is brittle, held together by fear. By targeting the nuclear program, we aren't just protecting our allies, we are cutting the legs out from under a terror-sponsoring government. The walls are closing in. Even the UK is bringing forward legislation to target the software and energy sectors, advancing this escalation. The simulation of diplomacy is over. Now, it's about the survival of the regime versus the security of the world. And in that fight, Trump will never blink. The USS Abraham Lincoln isn't just a ship. It's 100,000 tons of American diplomacy. It's sitting in the Arabian Sea right now, and its presence has changed the entire math of the Middle East. Trump confirmed on Truth Social that this armada is larger than the one sent to Venezuela earlier this month. This isn't just talk. I've seen the tactical maps. We are ready to strike the IRGC command centers, the drone manufacturing plants, and the missile silos that threaten our interests. The most telling sign of what's coming is Russia's reaction. When the Kremlin starts talking about evacuating their personnel from the Bushehr plant, you know the situation is critical. They see the writing on the wall. They know that when Trump says make a deal or face a bigger attack, he has the carrier groups and the B-2 bombers to back it up. Russia is trying to stay out of the blast zone. Hegseth's War Department, a name change that reflects our new reality, is no longer about defense. It's about war winning. We are rebuilding the perception of American power one target at a time. The regime in Tehran thinks they can wait us out, but the American people want a president who puts America first by putting the enemies of America last. The pressure is mounting. The sanctions are at an all-time high. The internal protests are destabilizing the regime, and the American military is at a locked and loaded status. Trump has given Iran the final warning. They can talk at the negotiating table, or they can face the indignity of seeing their military infrastructure reduced to rubble. The choice belongs to Tehran.